Hey everyone, it's Enjoy English School. I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Antony.
Today is July 16th, and we have day 2 of our 2-day business article, Tracking Down a Late Shipment.Yeah,
我们今天要继续跟各位介绍这个商用英语的对话。那我们这个主题呢是追踪延迟的货物。那在昨天呢，我们有提到说这个货物延迟了，然后供应商说我会帮你去查到底货物卡在什么地方，你请给我你的这个订单编号。那我们今天继续看一下，在1小时之后案情的发展。
So yesterday we looked at the components were late, and so Kira calls Mr. Tang. We want to know what happens, and can Mr. Tang sort it out?Yesterday, an important part of our business English article was Mr. Tang telling Kira that he understands her problem. He understands why she feels upset, and I really want to help you fix it.
没有错，所以在这个地方的话，要学会表达这种态度，说先安抚对方的情绪，然后想尽办法告诉对方说我们会怎么样解决他的问题。那我们今天的话，赶快来看看后面发生了什么事情吧。
All right, it's time for Enjoy English School. We're looking at pages 34 and 35 in our magazine, and as always with the dialogue, write out the number speaking lines we have. Today, we have 13 different speaking lines. And of course, Kira and Mr. Tang are back to talk about the shipment.
没错，以后我们在这个地方的话，先把这个每一个编号把它画下来，一共今天有13句话要学，对不对？所以接下来的话就是 Kira 跟这个 Mr. Tang 他之间的对话了。
So we have an update here. An hour later, Mr. Tang calls Kira.
好，副标题上面写到说 An hour later, 1小时过后呢 Mr. Tang calls Kira. 他就打电话回电话给这个 Kira 了。
And in line number 1, Mr. Tang says, Hello, Miss Chandri. This is Bob Tang. I have some good news.
好，第一句话呢，他说 Hello, Miss Chandri. 好，这个地方的话不会直接叫 Kira， 因为毕竟对方是你的合作厂商嘛，对不对？所以在这里的话，你可能要特别就是去指他的这个姓氏。This is Bob Tang. 哦，自报姓名。I have some good news. 我有好消息要跟您说。
And in line number 2, Kira says, Hi, Mr. Tang. What's the status of the shipment?
哇 Kira 马上开门见山，也没有跟你客气，讲说 Hi Mr. Tang， 哦，那个订单怎么样了？马上劈头就问 What's the status of the shipment? The status of the shipment， 我们昨天有提到这个字 status 指的是状况，有人念成 status 也是可以的。他马上劈头就问说订单状况如何？
We might say Kira is all business.Yeah,
all business 就是真的是公事公办，就是直接就进入了生意，啊，完全没有在客套跟你说，哎，你好，怎么样怎么样，没有，订单如何
in line number 3, Mr. Tang says, It turns out that the shipment was held up because of government export controls.
好，所以还赶快跟他讲说这个目前的状况。It turns out that 这个句子很好。It turns out that 这个片语呢，就是说，哎，结果到头来，哦，就原来居然是这个样子。什么样呢 ？The shipment was held up。好，它被耽搁了。这个运送的过程呢，被耽搁了。Because of government export controls， 因为呢，政府它有一个出口管制，然后呢，这个货运就耽搁了。
Now, when we hold up somebody, this means you rob them, so please be careful of this phrase. But when something is held up or was held up, that means it was delayed. And we saw the noun form of this word yesterday, a delay, and here we have to delay.
没有错，所以在这里的话，有时候你有机会听到 be held up 或是 get held up. Sometimes you will get held up in traffic. Oh, I got a little held up.In the office， 好，这种口语的用法其实常常会用到被什么东西耽搁了一下下。
And above exports, I wrote the word imports. It's always good to think in opposites. Exports, imports.
没错，在这里的话 export 指的是出口嘛，对不对？老师刚刚有提到另外一个字 import， 把这个前面的 ex 变成 import import 这个字的话就是进口 export 出口。
And in line number 4, Kira says, To me, that doesn't sound like good news.
哇，好率直的那种说法，对不对？哦，这对我来讲，这不是什么好消息呢。To me, that doesn't sound like good news. 我们中文会讲说一个好消息，但是在英文里面 ，good news 是不加的。好，也不会加任何其他，就是 good news. I have good news for you. 这个时候不会加好，要特别注意一下这个中英文的差异。
In line number 5, Mr. Tang says, Let me finish. The shipment needed an inspector's approval, and we had to submit another form to get that done.
Yeah, 最后呢，这第5句话讲说 Let me finish， 听我说完，听我说完。你也可以说 Please hear me out。 Hear me out 就是听我把话说完。为什么是好消息？让我解释一下。The shipment needed an inspector's approval. Inspector 就是指那个稽查员，他必须要得到一个稽查员的核准。And we had to submit another form to get that done. 我们必须要另外交一份表格，才能得到这个稽查员的核可。这样的话，其实就搞定了。
Be careful of the pronunciation of approval. A lot of students would say approval here, and that's not correct. I wrote 2 O's here, like moon, so we know the correct pronunciation here. When we submit something, we send it in, and a form is a document, just like when you use in the computer. And lastly, inspector has S-P-E-C, and that always means about your eyes.
啊，对，这个地方特别注意一下，这个 SPEC 在 inspector 里面的 SPEC 就是指跟看有关系的 It's always about your eyes。 比方说我第一个会想到就是 spectators， 尤其是在这个运动的这种竞赛里面，旁边在看的观众，哇，加油加油的这种 spectators 就是在旁边看。好，它的拼法是 SPECTATOR spectators。 好，用这个字来表达说在旁边看的这些观众。
All right, let's take a quick break. Okay, welcome back to Enjoy English School. We are on day 2 of tracking down a late shipment. We're on pages 34 and 35 in our magazine. On line 6, Kira says, okay, so when can we expect the shipment to arrive?
好 ，OK， 他就继续就问到啦，说，所以说呢 ，When can we expect the shipment to arrive？ 所以我这样你一讲，我们到底什么时候可以等得到我们的货？
In line number 7, Mr. Tang says, probably in about 3 days. It passed inspection 2 days ago and is en route.
在这里的话还是特别注意一下 probably in about 3 days. Probably in 这个地方再过几天之后，它的介系词是用 in about 3 days. 再过3天的话，差不多就可以收到咯。It passed inspection， 它已经通过了这个检核，对不对 ？2 days ago， 2天前呢，它经过了这个检查，现在呢 is en route。好，在这里 en route means on the way。
Now, route and R-O-U-T-E has 2 pronunciations. We could say en route or en route. The route and route are both totally fine. Just some people prefer one or the other. This is a French pronunciation, though. So, Anthony, would you help us out here?
所以做法文的话会讲 en route。
That's really different than how I say it. So, en route is probably the really flat American way to say it. All right, let's take a look at line number 8 here. Kira says, I see. That's good to know, but please try to speed these things up in the future.
OK， 在这里的话他就看到了，他说 I see， 原来是这样子啊 ，That's good to know， 知道了，这样还不错。But please try to speed these things up. If you speed up something， 好，这意思就是指说想办法让这个事情加速。那意思就是说，以后这种事情可不可以想办法让它更快一点，不要拖拖拉拉的。
Kira is giving Mr. Tang a lot of pushback. So even though she hears this good news and she knows she will get her components, they were still delayed. And she still wants to kind of give him a little bit of pressure here to make sure nothing weird happens in the future. So in English, we would call this pushback.
因为这个地方的话就是 pushback， 就是给施加压力的感觉，说不，你现在的确事情是解决了，可是以后你不能每次都这样子弄，你要想办法让事情更加的加快脚步。You have to facilitate the process. Facilitate 就是让事情变得更顺畅、更好的意思。
And that FAC in facilitate is related to factory that we talked about yesterday. And what does factory mean? it really means easy. And so facilitate means make things easier.
没错，就是这个字。好 ，facilitate 这个字的话，跟 factory 里面都有 F-A-C 是一样 facile 来自于法文的这个容易的意思。
All right, in line number 9, Mr. Tang says, of course, you are a valued client. I promise you we will do our best to avoid this kind of delay in the future.
好，第9句他就说了 Of course, 当然 You're a valued client 你是我们尊荣的客户，对不对？好 I promise we will do our best 我们会尽其所能的 Avoid this kind of delay in the future 以后会避免这样子的这种延迟。
So a client is closely related to the word customer, but they are not 100% the same.OK,
customer 跟 client 在这边我们碰到 client 客户，你可能提到客户想到顾客 customer， 他们两个字呢是很接近，但是并不是全等的哦。
So a customer is a person who buys things from a company, but a client is a person that wants professional support or maybe some extra service for a company and also they buy things. So a client might buy advice or solutions to problems for their businesses.
没错，所以提到 client 的时候多半是寻求专业的协助很多时候的话你可能会去寻求说法律上的 legal advice 好和各式各样这种专业的协助 advice 这个字的话老师刚刚有提到就是指建议的意思这个字不可数那如果是 customer 的话通常就是你走进这个全家或是走进这个 Costco 好你进去的时候可能你就是其中一个 customer 你并不是你只要买东西你没有寻求专业的这种协助或意见
Now, we have the phrase to do our best. When we do our best, be careful because this doesn't mean you 100% promise this will never happen again. That's an impossible thing for Mr. Tang to say. So I like that he's kind of telling Kira that he's going to work very hard, but, sometimes these things happen.
没错，所以在这里的话我们会尽其所能但是不保证什么但是我们能做的事情我们尽量做至少顾客听起来会觉得说好吧你有努力了而不是事情就是摆烂所以听起来会觉得比较舒服一点
And of course we have the word delay here again. Remember earlier in line number 3 we have something was held up which means something was delayed.delayed
这个地方的话就是指那个延迟嘛对不对我们之前不是有提到 get held up or be held up 就是被耽搁住了在这边的话也是一样的概念
All right, let's take another quick break. Welcome back to Enjoy English School, and we are finishing up our 2-day article on tracking down a late shipment. We are on pages 34 and 35 in the magazine, and we're looking at line number 10. Kira says, thank you for getting back to me promptly. I hope we can maintain our partnership moving forward.
OK, 再来我们看第10句话咯 Kira 就说了 Thank you for getting back to me promptly.你有注意到这个事情我在这边的话我就特别写到说他的语气上面缓和很多一旦知道事情有缓和有解决了之后原本就是劈头就问 What's the status of the shipment 到现在说谢谢你这么快回电给我整个态度上就差很多知道事情解决了就问题就你看态度上面就会缓和很多嘛这个地方有一个字很重要Promptly 就是快速的 quickly 很高兴你这么快的就回我电话1个小时就回电
Now, probably a lot of you guys understand this part right here. We have get back to somebody promptly. Now, that means to hurry up and answer them. But the opposite of that is to ghost somebody. But that's a very colloquial, henkoyu. That's a very colloquial phrase that a lot of young people use.
没错 ghost somebody 就是神隐就是完全就是把他完全就是忘记这个人然后也不回电然后人间蒸发的感觉 ghost 就是我们常常知道 G-H-O-S-T ghost 这个字只是这个字当动词使用 ghost somebody 的意思然后后面那句话说 I hope we can maintain our partnership moving forward 他既然你解决了问题了我们希望以后我们能继续合作 partnership 就是彼此的合作关系 moving forward 就是在以后我们可以继续合作的意思
Do you ghost people, Anthony?
No.
Really?
I think it's very rude.
Is it? I personally don't feel really bad because Like a lot of people text me, a lot of people send me messages. I have 2 different jobs. You know, sometimes I can't have full conversations with everyone, so I answer them quickly and move on. I don't spend long time in conversation.
But you don't ghost them, right? You respond very, very quickly.
Well, you know, I mean, you'll send me a text message and then it'll be like 6 hours before I answer you. But that's only because if I answer you right now, maybe I'm busy and I can't help the people I'm working with right now. So when I have free time, as soon as I have free time, I will answer you. But I won't immediately jump on my phone to answer a text message.
所以说在这里的话，这个 ghost 的话不是完全不理，而是说今天你在这没有办法马上回电话，或是马上回讯息。
I think that's how a lot of young people see it. I know my boss hates that. He hates when I don't answer him right away. But I told him I can't do a good job if I answer you now. So let me wait till I can answer you and do a good job. He still doesn't like that.
是哦 You always put him on red, right?
No, I don't read it at all. I wait because I wait until I have free time and I can do a good job. If I put him on read or red and I don't have free time, I'm going to forget.
OK. 所以我们刚刚提到一个用法是 put somebody on red， 意思就是指说让他处在已读的状态。你读了他讯息，但是没有马上回。然后老师刚刚就回到说，没有，我没有把它点开来，然后我是等到我可以的时候再点开来回讯息。所以在这里的话 ，put somebody on 这个字的话 ，read， 我听到人家讲的是 put somebody。on read 这个是 read 是处在被读的状态，所以在这里的话我们可以使用已读人家可以这样说。
All right, let's continue with our article here on line number 11. Mr. Tang says, absolutely. Please contact me anytime if you have an issue of concern.
这句话很好用哦。Absolutely. Please contact me anytime if you have an issue of concern. 我们中文常常会讲说，如果有问题，随时与我联系，对不对？这是跟客户常常会用到一个句型。Please contact me. 这个 contact somebody， 好，这个字的话，它是当动词使用。这个 contact 这字很妙，我们之后还有机会会学到 contact 这个字呢，当名词使用的时候。Keep in contact with a person. 当名词的时候可以用 with 这个介系词，但是当动词使用的时候，只要讲 contact a person 就好，不用加 with.
Now, have an issue of concern is a little formal, 比较正式一点. We could just say if you have a question or a problem, but Mr. Tang is trying to be very polite. We've seen that a few times here, and I think Miss Chandri has a good reason to be upset. So I think he needs to be understanding and he needs to be a little more formal to show that he is a serious, reliable supplier.
To be professional. 所以这里的话，他必须用比较正式的语言，因为在这边的话，毕竟不好意思让人家耽搁了这个货物嘛，总要正式的、恭敬的跟人家讲说，以后有任何疑虑，请随时跟我联系。
Now, line number 12 and line number 13 are very easy, so here we go. Kira says, thank you and have a good day, Mr. Tang. And Mr. Tang says, you too, Miss Chandri, goodbye.
好，所以在这两句话里头呢，你就会发现到他们就是互相感谢、互相的祝福，然后互相道别。Thank you and have a good day， 谁谁谁 ，You too， 谁谁谁 ，Goodbye。好 ，Miss Chandri。那来这个地方的话，它是一样，都是用互相称呼对方姓氏的方式来表达。
All right, well, it is time for vocab review, and let's jump right in with number 1, to hold something up.
To hold something up 就是耽搁了某件事情。
Also, just like Anthony told us today, we also could say to get held up, and these all mean to delay.
都是指的延迟的意思。如果说被什么事情耽搁了一下，I got held up in the office. 我在这个上班的地方耽搁了一下，所以才晚到了。
Number 2, we have exports, and its opposite, imports.
好，第二个呢就是 export。export 就是出口，它的相反词呢是 import， 把 ex 改成 im 就变成 import， 对不对？所以这边是那个入口，就是进口的意思 import。
Number 3, we have an approval.An
approval 就是指核准或是核可。那如果说今天提到 approval 的话，也有当作是我很赞成这样的事情。
And we can make this a verb and say to approve.
To approve 的话，这边把它变成动词的时候，它有两种可能性。如果你觉得什么东西是好的 ，you think something is suitable, you say approve of something. 但如果说今天是可能国会国家里头正式的核准了通过了一项东西的话 we say approve a plan, approve a project.
Number 4, we have to submit.
Submit 的意思就是指交出提交什么什么东西。
That's an important word for our students. Number 5, to inspect.
To inspect 就是去检查的意思。记得老师曾经提到过 spec 这个地方 S-P-E-C 就是指看的意思。
And the noun form is an inspection.
An inspection 就是指检查，它的名词。
And our last one for today, to do your best.
To do your best 就是尽力去做什么事情。
All right, and that is all the time we have for today at Enjoy English School. However, we will catch you again really soon. I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Antony.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.